have the Vice President, Mr. Alan Saldich from Cloudera, which is a leader in data management systems based on Hadoop. So welcome, Alan, to IND TV USA. Tell us a little about big data. When we say it is big data, how big is the data?
How big is the data? Well, ironically, the big data isn't always huge, but generally speaking, what that means is, the world is all digital now. Everything is digital, from music to photographs. Every business runs on data. There are many businesses whose business is data, in fact, and then there's the internet in general. And that has just unleashed a torrent of data that needs to be stored and processed in ways that would have been impossible a few years ago. And that's really what big data. Big data really means if you have too much data, more than you can handle, you probably have big data.
Beautiful. So what are the latest trends in big data?
I think the underlying technology, when most people talk about big data, they're really talking about something called Hadoop, which is an open source framework. Hadoop already has conquered the internet, so everything you do on the internet after Google, Hadoop is an offspring of Google effectively. Every other major website, whether it's Yahoo or LinkedIn or Netflix or eBay, is built with Hadoop as one of the major components. Now what's happening is enterprises, banks, insurance companies, manufacturing companies are embracing Hadoop as well, because they're now facing a lot of the same problems that the web companies faced a decade ago. So that's really what's happening, enterprise adoption at large scale.
So what is the basic criteria for Hadoop to be successful? What happens if the backup is gone? When does Hadoop fail?
When does Hadoop fail? Well, luckily, Hadoop has quite a bit of built-in redundancy. That's really one of the most important parts of the technology. So one way to think of it is, rather than having to spend a lot of money to buy highly reliable hardware systems from, let's say the storage vendors or the server vendors, you can buy very inexpensive servers and plan on failure. So really hardware failure is built into the Hadoop architecture, which is one of the seminal ideas behind it. But I think more importantly, what we're really providing our customers is a solution that we call an enterprise data hub, and that means it's much more than just Hadoop, the open source core. We wrap a lot of software around it that's really required for data security, governance, lineage, access control, all of the things that any enterprise really is going to require before they're going to rely on any data management system. So that's really the latest stuff that's happening.
So how are you guys exactly contributing to the open source code?
Cloudera contributes tremendously. About 70% of our engineering manpower and womanpower is focused at open source software. Cloudera engineers have founded, I forget the exact number, I think over a dozen of the open source projects that are in the Hadoop ecosystem or the Hadoop framework. So we contribute a lot to the open source code. At the same time, the open source code doesn't solve every problem. The security and governance things I mentioned, the systems management tools that are available in the open source are just not complete enough, not robust enough. So in order for us to sell a solution and help our customers solve the problems they want to solve, we have to do that ourselves, and that's really what so we sell a kind of a hybrid solution that's a mix of Hadoop, the open source framework, and proprietary software that's unique to Cloudera that really, we think, differentiates us.
So what I understand is that Cloudera is an analytical tool. Cloudera, and therefore it helps in tracking customer preferences and other stuff like that, which can help the businesses ultimately. So tell us in totality, what are the benefits and what are the other analytical tools being used in conjunction with Cloudera for big data?
Well, let me correct one thing. So Cloudera, we don't really make analytic tools. So think of us more as a data management platform. We have over 1,000 partners. About 250 of them, I think, are software companies. Many of those are analytic tool providers, and they range from large vendors like SAS, Tableau, to newer companies like Zoom Data and Platfora, Pentaho, really all of the analytics and BI companies. So our customers, they have their own preferences for which BI analytics tools they like. We don't want to make them change. So we work very hard to certify as many software applications as possible to run on top of our platform. So think of Cloudera as the place you keep the data and process it and analyze it, but the actual visualization tools and applications are other companies.
Thank you, Alan, for speaking with IND TV USA today.
Thank you very much for having us.